What if the reason your day feels so scattered has nothing to do with how busy you are, and everything to do with the order you're doing things in? Japanese daily routines operate on a completely different infrastructure than what most people use, and the gap isn't about discipline or culture. It's about timing, sequencing, and something called zero-lag movement, where every action flows directly into the next without a restart. There are 12 specific habits behind that system, and most of them take under 30 seconds to set up. Number 1. Preparing clothes and bags the night before. The first 30 minutes of most mornings disappear into decisions you could have made the night before. Which shirt? Where are the keys? Does the bag have everything? And each one of those small questions burns a little mental fuel before the day has even started. The real cost isn't the time it takes to find something. It's that your brain enters the day already in problem-solving mode, already reacting, and that state carries forward. In Japan, the evening before a workday is treated as prep time for the next morning. Clothes get laid out, the bag gets packed and placed by the door, and tomorrow's path gets cleared tonight. Decisions made when you're calm take a fraction of the effort of decisions made while you're already running late. Number 2. Arriving a few minutes early to everything. Arriving early feels like giving time away, but you're not. You're just moving the transition cost to a moment when it's cheap instead of a moment when it isn't. Show up exactly on time or a little late, and those final minutes before anything starts become pure damage control. You're scanning the room, catching your breath, figuring out where to sit, and your nervous system is already running hot before the actual thing has begun. In Japan, arriving a few minutes early is just part of showing up. You use those minutes to settle, glance at your notes, or just sit without urgency. People who do this consistently never have to recover from their transitions, so they start calmer and stay that way longer. Number 3. Using IC cards for instant transit payments. Every payment you make in motion is a small stop you didn't plan for, and those stops stack up across a full commute without you ever noticing the total. IC cards like Suica and Pasmo are preloaded cards you tap against a reader at the gate. The gate opens in under a second, and you keep walking. No transaction screen, no confirmation, no fumbling for the right amount, because all of that got handled when you loaded the card at a low-pressure moment, not at the gate when you're trying to move. That's the whole idea. You pay attention to the card once, top it up when it runs low, and from that point, the transit system just works around you. Number 4. Queuing in an orderly way to speed up boarding. A crowd of people trying to board a train at the same time is basically a flow problem, and leaving it unstructured makes everyone slower, including the people moving fastest. When boarding has no system, people approach doors from every angle and end up blocking each other. So the quickest movers create bottlenecks instead of clearing them. In Japan, marked lanes on the platform tell you exactly where to stand before the train arrives, organized by door position. The train stops, passengers exit first, and then each lane boards in order. Nobody cuts across anyone else's path. That design is what drives the behavior, not politeness. The lanes are painted on the ground, and the whole boarding process just runs faster because of it. Number 5. Keeping frequently used items organized in fixed places. Most people don't lose things because they're careless. They lose things because they never decided where those things live. So every time they put something down, they're quietly creating a future search task without realizing it. Japanese homes run on a fixed-place system where each item you use daily has one specific spot and always goes back there after use. Keys on one hook, transit card in one pocket, bag on one hook by the door. None of that needs willpower in the moment because the decision about placement already got made. Do it enough times and your hand just goes to the right spot automatically. You stop retrieving things consciously and start retrieving them by muscle memory, which means the cognitive step doesn't get smaller, it disappears entirely. Number 6. Combining errands into a single trip. Running one errand and coming straight home is one of the least efficient things you can do with an afternoon. And most people do it constantly because each errand feels urgent on its own rather than manageable as a group. Every separate trip carries a fixed overhead cost. Getting ready, traveling there, traveling back, and resettling into whatever you were doing before. That overhead gets paid whether you're doing one thing or 4, so splitting errands across separate trips means paying it multiple times for work you could have batched into one loop. Number 7. Using convenience stores for multiple services at once. Most places treat convenience stores as a backup option, somewhere you stop when you've run out of something and need it fast. In Japan, a konbini is where you route your day on purpose. You can withdraw cash, pay your electricity bill, print a document, ship a package, and pick up a hot meal, all without leaving the building, and they're open around the clock. A task that would eat up 3 separate trips somewhere else gets done in one stop in under 10 minutes. Number 8. Carrying a small umbrella for sudden weather changes. Getting caught in the rain without an umbrella doesn't just make you wet. It changes your whole route, forces you to wait somewhere dry, and can burn 30 minutes of a morning that was running perfectly fine until that point. Most people own umbrellas but leave them at home when the sky looks clear, which means the umbrella's never there when the weather shifts at noon. In Japan, small folding umbrellas are designed to be compact enough to sit in a bag without taking any real space, so they get carried daily the same way a phone or wallet does. No forecast checking, no gamble on the sky. The umbrella's already there, so the rain just stops being a problem you have to solve. Number 9. Keeping homes and workspaces clutter-free. Clutter doesn't just take up space on a surface. Every misplaced object registers in your brain as an unresolved task, and that low-level processing runs continuously in the background, competing with whatever you're actually trying to focus on. You're slower in a messy room, even if you don't notice it. Japanese homes and offices keep surfaces clear as a functional choice, not a style one. When a room only contains what's actively in use, there's nothing to mentally account for, nothing to work around, nothing pulling at your attention just by sitting there. Number 10. Using train schedules down to the minute. Most transit schedules are a rough guess. You build in extra time because you've been burned before, so you leave earlier than you need to, pad your connections, and treat the whole thing as approximate. That buffer time doesn't disappear, it just gets eaten by uncertainty instead of used for anything. Japanese train schedules operate with delays measured in seconds per year. That means a 2-minute transfer window actually works, so you can plan a meeting around your arrival time without guessing. Number 11. Packing compactly and efficiently for daily travel. How you pack a bag determines how many times a day you have to stop and search through it, and most people never think about this once. A bag without a system means every retrieval is a dig. You feel around for your transit card, move things aside to find your earbuds, and each small search breaks whatever you were doing before you needed the item. Japanese daily carry runs on fixed positions, where each item lives in one specific pocket and always goes back there. The transit card stays in the same exterior pocket every single day, so your hand finds it without looking. Number 12. Cleaning up immediately after use instead of later. Most people think of chores as blocks of time that need to be scheduled, but they're really just the cost of not cleaning up when you finish the thing that made the mess. When you leave a dish in the sink, you're not skipping a task. You're restarting it later under worse conditions. The food's dried on, you've lost your context, and you have to regather everything just to begin. In Japan, the pan gets wiped while it's still warm, the counter gets cleared before you leave the kitchen, and the desk gets reset before you leave the room. None of that gets scheduled as a chore because it just runs as the tail end of whatever you were already doing. None of these 12 habits run on discipline. They run on setup, one decision made early that removes the need to decide again when it actually matters.